the secret sauce is?
Tell us.
Meditating.
Dude, it was, man. I feel it's the way.
For everything.
I get heart palpitations when I think of you naked. She said, maybe in another life. What a beautiful waste of time. What a beautiful waste of time.
And we're back.
And we're back.
There we go.
That's a way to start off a podcast.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's definitely the first way I've started off a podcast. Meditating.
Considering we have so many people here, might as well be together.
No, that was actually pretty good. Now I feel like I'm in the zone.
Is that good?
Yeah, we have a lot of people here. If that's how we're going into, there's like 8 other people in this room. Check. How's that sound?
It's good. How does it sound? Everybody's good?
It sounds great.
Should I get it closer?
However you feel. Yeah. Be comfortable. Dude, yeah. This is exactly this is the Nobody Gets It podcast, and the main reason I started coming up with making this happen was trying to have important people that I've met across this way to come in and kind of give their spiel about, what nobody gets about what they might do, the work ethic that goes behind what they do, the pros and cons, but really just trying to also get this whole first few episodes of people that, I think would provide really good, information and just, funny stories we've done along the way too, but it's important. I'm happy that you were down and eager to do this with me.
Appreciate it. I'm very flattered.
Yeah, you're flattered.
Just an eager beaver.
Hell yeah, man. No, it's cool. And I think the way we first even crossed paths, I mean, some context for people listening is, your name's Alex and Alex Lunt, manager with a band called Beauty School Dropout.
Yep.
Which, how long you been working with them?
4 years.
4 years.
Almost. 3.5, 4 years.
Cool. And how'd you even come across with them?
So I moved to LA about 4 years ago as well, last March, and I came from Seattle. And I went to school out there. I was managing, kids at my school, also throwing parties and having artists perform at those parties in college. And I realized that was kind of, something that I was really interested in, and, way more interested in that than economics or whatever else I was taking at the time. And I think that was really what drove me to find something that made sense for what I wanted to do, passionate about it.
What school was it?
The University of Puget Sound. Go Loggers.
Okay.
And at the time, school for me was the highest bidder anyways.
Yeah.
So, if I had an opportunity, if Drake called me, I'd been like, see you school. I'm going to hang out with Drake.
Yeah.
But I knew that's where I wanted to do it. So anyways, long story short, I was graduated school, promoted some shows, all the way up to I did a music festival at the Tacoma Dome where we had Busta Rhymes, DMX, Method Man, Redman, E40, Gucci Mane, Russ.
What year was this?
Lil Uzi Vert. 2016.
Okay, cool.
So it was about a year after I graduated in 2015. And I just kind of established myself in the Seattle market, was managing guys and really learning how to do it, learning what sound checks were and really the range of stuff. And I came to the realization that, so this is a long way to get to your answer.
That's okay. Dude, we got time.
I came to the realization that Seattle had a glass ceiling for the music business because it's one of those markets, especially for artists, where they can get really comfortable.
Yeah.
Because they can get some fame and they can start getting put onto cooler stuff. And there are some bigger festivals in Seattle, so that builds that confidence for them. But then there's really no it's a lot of artists don't make it out of that bubble.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way Austin sometimes, even sometimes with Salt Lake, what we're feeling there's those kind of we call them B markets maybe. There's the A markets,
yeah,
and then B's Seattle and those things, but
yep,
which are great. But yeah, you totally Nashville, that's kind of ish. But yeah, there's people that can get comfortable.
Well, and so on that, just as an artist, there's opportunities, but as an aspiring music industry person, there's even less opportunities. I was knocking down the doors of all the management companies that were there, or labels, and just didn't really get much support. So I was always kind of just do it myself. And then I landed a tour managing job for the Wailers, so Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Nice.
The cool part about that band was they would do, Belly Up in Aspen for 300-400 people, and then Red Rocks the next day. Or like in Europe, they would do 800 people in Amsterdam, and then they would be opening for Jay-Z and Beyonce at a festival in front of 90,000 because that band could get put in that position. So for me, I got the phone call 4 days later. I was at Sony Music Hall in New York City, tour managing, you know, a fairly decent sized tour. But I had no idea. Like, I had zero clue what the fuck I was doing, to be honest. But I learned really fast. I was super stressed. I probably lost like 15 pounds in like 2 weeks, and I figured it out. You know, and that point they took me around the world for like a summer and a half, and like I realized that there were a lot more markets out there than just like Seattle or like anything else. And I realized I really had to move to Los Angeles if I wanted to take the management stuff seriously. And so in that, my roommate and partner, Jacoby, shout out to Jacoby, he met the band at a Vic Mensa party in Silver Lake Hills, and he came to me that evening. He was like, yo, I met this band, they're so sick. And like, I was actively trying to get jobs at any management company I possibly could. Like, I interviewed at all the big management companies, didn't get a single offer from anybody, didn't have any clients really. I left all my clients in Seattle because they were just not as motivated as I was. So I didn't really have much to offer except for myself. And like, that can only go so far, you know, like you can get into the mailroom. I got offers to get in the mailroom at William Morris or like things like that. And thankful for those opportunities, but the agent side of the business wasn't necessarily what I aspired to be. I wanted to be much more hands-on and with the artist. And from there, we took a meeting the next day with the Beauty School Dropout boys. Cole and Bardo went to their studio downtown, and it was like they were showing us this new like kind of rock stuff, and I was like, I just had been thinking about it for a long time. I was like, I feel like rock is going to come back, and like their energy and like what they had and their presence and just everything about them was like, yeah, these guys are it. And so, you know, from there really just got them like, you know, a bunch of random meetings. Like one of our first meetings was with Randy Jackson from American Idol, but he's very involved in a lot of stuff. Like that guy has his hands in a ton of stuff, and he was one of the people that I had met prior when I was still looking for a job.
He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool.
So many fist bumps.
Yeah.
If you like something that you say, it's always a fist bump.
Nice. Nice.
Which is great. And he's awesome. But anyways, bunch of random meetings like that, you know, label meetings, whatever, just to kind of just show that we were like building something and had the grit for it. And then COVID happened, which was honestly a blessing for them. Yeah. Because it just gave us the chance to hunker down and really focus on building the brand, writing a ton of music. They were writing a ton of music for other artists like Trevor Daniel or like Swayco or like other artists. So it really got them to like chop up their songwriting stuff. So now they have, you know, I don't know, like 200 songs in the bank that will probably never see the light of day, but
it happens. That's
sharpen the tools, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you came along around that point too.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I came along because I saw the band like was crushing it with they were crushing it on TikTok, and they had the format down of like doing like cover songs for like 30 seconds or something. Yeah. And the framing was perfect. Like it stayed consistent. The framing was there. I don't know if it just came on like my For You page, but it was the song Mood by 24K Golden and Cole's version of Mood. And I mean, I have goosebumps even thinking about it right now. Dude, that shit was so good. And I don't even know. I was like, saw it, and this was right around a year into us, you know, creating our indie rock label. We wanted to stay in just like you, we knew there'd be a renaissance of rock. Like we knew rock was going to come back. We wanted to stay in the rock lane.
100%.
Yeah.
And disclaimer, it was a really, really fair deal that they presented us.
I'll get there. I'm going to get on the deal part because it was funny because I'll get there in a second. So I saw that on TikTok or Instagram, and I don't know how Adam Walker came into the picture, but maybe I was talking to him because he was someone I produced with before. But he all of a sudden just like knew you, or he knew the band. Maybe I posted. I think I posted my story. That was it. I think I posted my story. Adam saw it. He was like, "I know the manager." He talked to you, and then you kind of did your little background on me, and we got acquainted. And I was just like blown away. I'm like, dude, this band is like the next Motley Crue of like what LA's looking for. That like the rock renaissance we keep speaking of. Like I saw that in them, and I believed that hard. How the energy they were bringing to the forefront. And yeah, next thing, I think you came over the house with Nick Littman and Jacoby.
Other partner, Nick Littman. Shout out Mr. Littman.
Legendary guy in the manager world. And I remember it was like us at the table, like Wade and David and Colin and I think Mayor, who was with us at the time, and we all kind of sat there, like 8 of us, and like and Nick's just like, all right, so what's going on here? Like, what are you guys like doing? Like the house, the vibe, like what's going on? And we explained, production company, your label, we want to develop out with you guys. We have no label services, creative services. But yeah, to fast forward, I mean,
you guys still doing that?
What's that?
The label side?
Yeah. Career Kings are like the main marquee people on the label now. I mean, we started doing singles. Like that's what we were pitching you guys on by doing singles and EPs. And now it's more like we want to do EPs and longer term projects. So it's just hard working singles, like getting into those rooms with the Rainy Jackson people or whoever, and like you have a single, like, well, what's the follow up? What's the project? Mm-hmm. Like, there needs to be more substance there. Mm-hmm. So that being said, though, yeah, so we loved you guys, knew something would work out, but we went to Wade's old former management company, like Third Brain, and we're just like, we knew that you guys came and you're like, yo, if you guys hit us up like a month before, we might be interested. There's something on the table right now, like, and that's really prosperous. We need to take on. But we went to like Third Brain and like tried getting more money from Third Brain to give to you guys. Mm-hmm. We just tried everything we could to like make Beauty School Dropout.
Persistent.
We were persistent.
Danny was blowing my lineup.
I was blowing
like
you up,
month.
dude. I saw him like, dude, this band is B. Because I was working like Machine Gun Kelly and Post Malone people, and seeing like this was like 2021, and like seeing how that they were like Post was moving to Utah, they were fading out. I saw Beauty School Dropout being the next thing in this whole like Hollywood scene. And as the like a renaissance of the 80s of like Motley Crue style or all the rock. So I was so into it, and I was so into you. I mean, that's a big part of what we do too. We don't want to work with people we don't like, and we need to be able to mesh with them. So like you off the bat were awesome, and so was Jacoby and Nick. But I blew you up, and I think like I remember I was in Virginia and I called you or something, like we had the deal from Third Brain, and then you're like, we just signed like literally like I think it was like a day before, maybe it was like a couple hours before, and we were deflated, but we all stayed. We understood, and the funny thing is, you did a deal with like someone I knew, like Ben
Farber. Yeah, he's coming on the show tomorrow.
Coming on tomorrow.
Right? Ooh,
yeah.
I called Ben actually yesterday. I was like, "Oh, I heard you're on the show." I was like, "Wow, they're really just handing out free podcasts to anybody, huh?"
Pretty much.
Which, just kidding. Ben is actually one of like literally, in my opinion, one of the most like just authentic, has the insane potential to just be running whatever giant label he's going to be at.
I met him when he was at Pandora Radio, and
Me too.
And he was one of my first opportunities as a videographer. I was shooting Pandora events through a mutual friend, Jess Jennings. Shout out Jess, because she'll get mad if I don't say that, with Ben. But yeah, I met Ben through her like 2014, 15, and he was just such a nice, friendly guy, authentic, and like loved Blink-182, loved the rock scene. And I feel like,
I met Ben. I was back in like after college. I was just trying to like, on top of the promoting and managing, I also had a side job working for a cannabis company that did like, they have a machine, it's called Futurola. They have a machine that rolls 100 joints in 2 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Or like grinders that grind like 5 pounds in 4 seconds. Like very industrial, like very much the picks and shovels in the gold mine. These guys are absolutely crushing it.
Did you bring any today?
I can get one here. We can get it. We can get it real quick.
Yeah.
Long story short, I was doing trade shows for them and so on. And we did like something at like High Times Village at Life is Beautiful in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think Ben, I just seen him. I saw he had an artist wristband on, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's your name?"
Always.
Yeah. We just started talking. He's like, "Oh, I'm at Pandora." I'm like, "Oh, I'll see you later, maybe for the Blink show or whatever," because Blink was playing that night. And I got his Instagram or number, and then we just kind of stayed. I just kind of bothered him every once in a while after that, and just kind of stayed in contact. And then he also really liked the band when like the timing was right to show him. And I know you guys would have done a great job, but they also did an absolute. They got us, I don't know, like 14 editorial playlists on it.
Yeah, no. Dude, I'm not mad that we lost after Ben Farber on it. When you told me it was Ben, because you guys didn't tell us who it was with, we knew it wasn't a major, but we knew it was someone kind of like us that's in a unique situation with like savant people behind that. And then when I found out it was Ben, it was just like, okay, that's fair. Like, that's so fair. And I was so happy too. I even told Ben, I was like, yeah, and then we all worked together, even making music videos still.
Yeah, I mean,
with version 3.
Ben Farber is a great person for everybody to know when you see him tomorrow.
I know. I'm excited for him to come on from the label's perspective and whatever.
Which is great. And I'm actually working on right now, and we're finalizing a deal to sign a country artist someone I'm helping out right now, and that he's over the moon about, which I am too. She's absolutely incredible. Because Ben Farber was at Warner, he does the rock playlisting and sales editorial, but also now he'll tell you, but anyways, he's doing country, and he did all of Zach Bryan's stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah, I saw him do that.
It's like the perfect person.
Yeah.
And they're just such amazing people. The company's called V3, and Josh Epples his partner. And just, they've kind of really like dialed in what a label distribution situation should be, right? Because everybody's looking for editorial playlists. At the end of the day, that doesn't like really move the needle as much as everyone wants it to. Like you need that organic promo from TikTok, from just touring, like all that stuff. But they do an insane job at getting editorial playlists.
Yeah, no, dude.
And Sirius XM, and like
they have the connections. They've built it over the years.
And they're very picky about who they work with. So
yeah.
To testament to, I guess, Beauty School Dropout, like they were the first artists out of the gate for them. And so for us, it was like a risk worth taking, because they were going to put, 150% into it to make sure that it was a success. Because at the end of the day, it's their reputation on the line too. Mm-hmm. So, but it worked out.
No, yeah, that's awesome. And then,
but maybe we could have won a Grammy if we went with you guys by now. So you never know.
You never know. You never know. But the cool thing is, like, yeah, you never know what comes down the line. I don't know what you guys... So then you guys started moving with this new label, though, right? You have a new label.
Right now.
Yeah.
Like currently.
Yeah, like the
same
new...
situation. First artist signed. So the company's called VerseWire. It's headed by an amazing lady named Sherry Sahidi. Actually, Nick Littman's a part of that. And then Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy is a strategic advisor. And then Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 has taken on like an A&R role for the band.
Yeah.
And that in itself, I mean, first off,
that's so cool. By the way, I mean, like,
yeah, you can't ask
for a better like Avengers lineup of people. Like that's why, like, like we lost out on Beauty School Dropout. But I just don't care, because the people we lost out to were Ben Farber, and then went to like Blink-182 and that. And my only testament then I bring them, like, at least I saw like where it was going to go, and it is going.
Yeah, you got
so I recognized it at least. But yeah,
I mean, yeah, and it's the label's a really interesting brand new structure. Like I feel like there's a ton of labels that pop up now where they're like, oh, we're super artist friendly, blah 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 blah. We do this and that, and then as soon as the paperwork comes around, it's like a third of what they said it was going to be on there is on there, and everything else is like totally like, you just like scratch your head like, what?
Yeah.
But in this situation, hyper artist friendly, just like we have an amazing deal. And it also came with Mark Hoppus as the A&R, and it's like, that's like Beavis plays the bass and does production too. Like that's their idols, like that's what they grew up playing. That's why they play the bass. You know what I mean? So to have that a part of it. Well, on top of that, it's like when we're, I'm a big believer, like I think there's a lot of great A&Rs out there, but the best A&Rs I've ever come across, whether that's at a label or publishing, like are true like producer artist A&Rs that like are in it for the music side of it, and like everybody's in it for the music side of it to an extent, but the perspective from like a producer A&R that can also have like very poignant and critical feedback on the song is really, really important. Because for me, it's like it depends on my client, but I will be like, I'll always be honest, but I'll probably give a lot less feedback to some clients versus others. But when you have a legend like Mark Hoppus who is giving you feedback, and more often than not, he's like pretty damn right. And then on top of that, when Mark Hoppus calls another big producer, that producer is going to answer the phone and is also going to take the session because it's him, and he's attached to it. So in that sense, like creatively and the music, you can tell like just being on this label and having the opportunity to work with just amazing producers, and the boys are amazing writers too by themselves. Yeah. But to also have those like bigger producers that have done some of the biggest records in the world, a part of it is just like on everything, because everything starts with the music. The record side is like, if you don't have a good song, like there's just not longevity in that. And like we've been definitely on like a slow trajectory, but very fast. But for us, we're totally fine with that, because everybody, humbly has believed and believes that Beauty School Dropout will be the biggest band in the world.
Yeah. I love that, man. I mean, you guys just came off like a tour playing in arenas.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that like how'd the
Pretty
boys
wild.
feel? How'd you feel? Like, what was that like?
It was great. I mean, just obviously there's the excitement of like, we had always like, maybe we'll get on that Blink-182 tour. It'd be sick. Like, and then I remember when I heard that Turnstile was opening, just like before it was announced, and I was like, oh no. I was bummed because I was like, the boys are going to be so like, they'd be so hyped to play that. Like, even just to open for Turnstile in general would just be insane, because they're just like they're like I feel like everybody's favorite rock band, even your favorite rock band's favorite rock band, So I was like, oh man, what are we gonna do? And like, honestly, we got the offer to play it like a month before, so we were already on tour with Jaden JXDN, which was an amazing tour for us. So great. It was pretty much him and us, and there was always just a big family environment on that tour anyways. And then we got the news that we're doing the Blink-182 tour for 11 dates, because I guess how it worked was Mark got to pick his people, Travis gets to pick his people.
Yeah.
And then
Tom.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, you're
I did not remember that for a second.
No, you're good.
Tom gets to pick his people.
Yeah.
And so for us, it was like, wow, we really need to make sure that we hit this out of the park, and not just on stage. Like, the on-stage performance was important, but to be very honest, the most important part for us was everything backstage, to make sure that like we took up as little room as possible. We did what we were told. We showed up early. We made friends with every single person on that staff and that crew, because there was probably like, I don't know, like 100 people. They had like 25 semi-trucks,
Yeah.
15 tour buses. Like, it's a big tour, a lot of people
For
there.
sure.
But we made sure that we like moved super quietly but clean, and like ended up after the Madison Square Garden show just being, everybody was singing our praises like crazy. And, obviously the hope is to get invited back out, for one of their other legs in Europe or whatever. But
Well, it's also important what you just said. Like, it's a testament. Just be like nice and like kind and grateful to all those people on that 100-person team, because like it takes a lot to do all those tours, and you're on the road for a long time, and you're not in the best sleeping conditions. You're high pressure
brutal
conditions, but also that person that might be like fourth electrician might eventually be a lighting director one day.
100%.
And they will remember Beauty School Dropout and the way you guys treated them in 5-6 years from now.
1000%.
And so it's all, that's why
but
we
that's very, like you
yeah.
said, that's so valuable to be you have to be nice to everybody. I mean, like, it's just the most important. It's like, it's one of the most important things, because especially in the touring world, like, that's a very small world.
Yeah.
Like, a very small world.
Yeah, we're learning right now. We're gearing up for like Crooked King's like America tour. They're doing like 42 cities, and we're getting this TM that's giving us quotes right now for buses, and it's just new to me and our squad. But it's like learning that there's tight circle, tight world, tight, like they have their ways.
Did you talk to Mark in Europe?
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to Mark in Europe. This is the America section, but then we're definitely
Rad.
told Wade. Yeah,
Those
we
guys
got
are sick.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
They did a really good job for us on our last run just now.
Yeah.
But I mean, just being there, because the world is so small, like, it could literally be like the head of production being like, yeah, those guys sucked. And they're like, yeah, maybe we don't want them out here. And it could be that easy and that quick, just because of one stupid thing. Like, even the people at the security at the gate, like, it's like, have to be nice to everybody, because word goes around. And it'd be such a shame, to have such an amazing opportunity, like, squandered because of just something so stupid. And on tour, tempers do get high sometimes, but like, it's about controlling that, and like being a family, and like making sure that everybody is on the same page and communicating, and that the team is like tight knit. And at the end of the day, if you're on if you're not the artist and you're the tour manager or the manager or whatever, you just got to always remember that you're not the rock star.
Yeah. That's the biggest important thing for everyone there too. For even on our production level, it's like, it's a team sport. You have 12 hours to knock this out, and like, there shouldn't be any egos, because it's for the project, and the artist we're here for them. Like, we're not here for you and your thing. Like, we're here, sign up to create with them and for them. And
exactly.
But that's really cool. What did you hit up a lot of the shows? Were you at a lot of shows?
Yeah, I was there for probably about like 7 of them.
Which was your favorite?
Madison Square Garden.
That's gotta be just iconic. Like,
pretty sweet. I think it was a great moment. Unfortunately, like, we had we did like a big MTV live thing.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that.
Which was amazing. Great production. Like I was always like, dang, there's like 40 people.
Was
here
that like a
working on the
modern day
production.
like TRL kind of
Modern
thing?
day TRO?
Was it
Exactly.
literally like
Times
how
Square,
they're trying to do like the new
same exact place?
Yeah. Yeah.
The which ended up getting us to like Madison Square Garden very late, and then that Madison Square Garden is a union venue, so we got there at like 5:45, and of course the union goes on an hour break from 6 to 7, and we go on at 7:30. So it was like, oh my God.
Sucks.
And when they go on break, you can't touch anything. If you walk on the stage, you get fined 10 grand, like stuff like that, right? Like you
Really?
can't pick up
Yeah.
your own stuff. Like they have to do it for you. And so
But this specific venue, or
there's a few, I mean, if
or
it
like
really,
the crew was.
no, it's
Okay.
it's the venue.
Okay, cool.
So it all depends. There's some venues are union, some venues aren't.
Gotcha.
And our stuff was left down in the bottom because they couldn't get a forklift down there fast enough. So we're here, like we didn't sound check, we didn't line check, we have done nothing, and we have to go on at 7:30, and arguably, you know, the most iconic show ever. So everybody's stressed the fuck out,
Yeah.
like stressed out, which should have been just such a great moment. But since we kind of packed in the day, which was I'm thankful we did, and we definitely handled it. It was like all of a sudden we had from 7 o'clock to get our stuff from down below, and then ready to play at 7:30. So it was like nonstop. So fortunately, unfortunately, not everybody got to really soak in the experience
Yeah.
because it was very hectic and stressful.
What's the most important, you as the manager in that situation, or put in any other situation like that? What's the most important like manager trait you try to like, you know, bring
I think
to
just keep everybody calm.
right?
Don't like. I think I used to like. I definitely would have in that situation 6 years ago been like freaked out.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, we had really good people in place to help, you know, because if it comes down to me plugging in a playback or a IEM rig, which is in your monitor rig, like, see ya.
Yeah.
It's not happening. It's not my role, you know? So if you have good people that fill those tech roles and yeah, I mean, just hire good people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That know what they're doing. People that, you know, it's okay to cut budgets in some places, but on tour you definitely want people that know what they're doing.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, their values definitely has a lot to do with the outcome. Yeah.
But shout out to the boys too. I mean, they're super. Cole, Bardo, Brent, Coley, Bardo, Beepus, and Mike Rose, our drummer, like they really seized the moment, and these guys are really DIY still and like just masters of what they do, and they're so passionate, they work so hard. Like every waking moment of their life is about Beauty School Dropout.
Right. They still live in that same place?
Yeah.
Yeah. All together, all three of them?
No, Beepus just moved in with his lady Royal and the Serpent.
Cool. Yeah,
Which
she's
is
great.
also awesome. She's on tour with Fall Out Boy right now.
Nice.
And Beepus is also playing bass for her now for the next couple weeks.
Oh, that's
on
cool.
that tour.
That's great. It's great to do that stuff. Yeah, like that's Beepus what he does, and Bardo does a lot of producing. That's sick. I mean, one thing I give your guys credit, it's like they're always doing these writer camps with people in the space, like Jaden and Dasha, like and other people. I mean, Inverness, I've worked with Inverness before on a video. It's really cool, like that community that they have, that circle they have, and them doing like the writer camps, and like I see them going to get Airbnbs and staying over there for the weekend and making music. That's awesome.
No, it's been great, and I think
It's something we'll look back on 10 years from now and be like, yeah, that's the stuff that we saw, you know, the people in the 80s, 90s in music doing, and you guys are doing it.
they're doing it. I was listening. I forget who I was talking to like in the past couple of days. Somebody who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
They were just saying it's like once you like take like the music part and like when you're making music, it's like if you're not thinking about, you know, how my fans going to receive this, or how like the label is going to like this, or is this going to work with our image, and you just sit there and you make music, like that's where the real power is. He was even telling a story about like Michael Jackson, where like Michael Jackson was recording one of his later albums and they took 8 months to do it, and at the end of it he was like, okay, that's good, we're wiping everything now, we're going to keep one song. It was one of big songs towards the end, but he was doing that because he just loved making music so much, and he wasn't thinking about like his fan base. He's already Michael Jackson anyway, so it's like it doesn't really matter at that point. But at the same time, like loved making music, and he was just making the music and not thinking about anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that is something from what I've been seeing a lot and who I've heard talk about it in sessions and stuff. That's when I really see the best stuff come out.
Definitely. Yeah, we've done that like with the Cricket Kings. Like the first album, we just like rented a house in like St. George, Utah, and went with the Kings and us four on the label and the producer, and just stayed away for a week and just made the stuff. And even right now, they're here for a month. Like got them an Airbnb and Silver Lake, and they just like recorded an album and made it with Daywave. But yeah, it's all about just like putting yourself in that environment.
You know what the secret sauce is?
Tell us.
Meditating.
Dude, it was, man. I feel very... It's the way.
For everything. And we even hit like meditations before they go on shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we'll hit the green room real quick for like even just 2 minutes. And it's really cool to do that in big groups too, of just like all of a sudden our agents are there and like our label people are like the band, and then like some random production person are like, all right, we're going to meditate now. And everyone kind of just does it.
Yeah, it's a special moment.
Like we did just now.
Yeah.
Which was
With
great
everyone
too.
here, that was good. No, that was a great way to start. So is that like the pre-ritual? What's the rituals?
I mean, every night is different.
Yeah.
It just depends on how many, how fast, like what everybody's doing before the show and like going in and out and stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, back to like saying like you guys still do like DIY stuff, like kind of goes into a story that I have. Like I directed the Demons video for Beauty School
Yeah, I remember
Dropout
it was here.
in this house. I don't know if we did a scene in here. I don't think we did a scene
Well, I'm saying,
here.
but in this house.
No, but it was in this house. I don't think we did. We did all like scenes all over the place. But I was on the podcast with one of our other acts like last week. Nightcap is the band, but he was like, wasn't there a time a cop came here and like just hung out with y'all? I'm like, yes. And I kind of talked about that, but it's so funny because we were talking about that. I'm like, dude,
And that same cop came to our show a month later
yes,
and brought his wife.
yes.
And he moshed, I'm pretty sure.
He
too.
moshed.
Yeah.
He sent me a photo of him moshing.
So sick.
And it was just so funny because, yeah, we made this music video in the house because we were strapped a budget, and I just wanted to make something cool with you guys and use what I had at my disposal. And the cop, came at like 1 a.m, was like, hey, you guys are being loud, but it doesn't really look like you're being loud. What are you doing? I'm like, man, I'm just trying to make a rock video for a band I'm trying to sign, or whatever I said. And there was like fake drugs everywhere, like fake cocaine and fake heroin. And but he knew right away that it was fake. But he's like, yeah, like I used to be in a rock band. And
He did a quick test. He was like,
he did a little
"It's fake,
test.
it's fake."
Yeah, and but then he stayed. He came in and he stayed for 3 hours watching us just shoot the scenes while
So
we were
cool.
shooting scenes.
Security.
Yeah, security. Literally had the sirens in the street going, and
The
like
neighbor, whoever called the cops, was like, yeah, he's totally fucking him.
I know.
They're done.
And now, little does he know, like we became friends after that, and he loved you. We have a good picture of like him, like arresting Cole. Like,
Yeah, it was great. It's good clickbait for the video.
yeah. No, that was so fun that you just, and that was a testament. Like you just don't judge a book by its cover. You never know who's going to be cool and supportive, and that guy was awesome. And that was a
We
good
should get
story.
him back out to another show, probably.
You should. You should try to. Did you do a funny TikTok with him, like arresting? I don't know if he was
I
able
think
to do
we
that.
had a video or something or a photo. I don't remember.
I think he'll do stuff for us that can push the narrative.
Never hurts to have that connection.
Yeah. No, that was fun. Your music videos lately, you guys, did you do that Europe one? You did, or you're trying to do that Europe music video where you took, it was a clever idea. You had a great idea of taking everyone's phones.
Yeah, it would have been good. I think we're going to just have that live as just like external content.
Yeah.
Rather than like our last release that's out now, Dying to Be You, was pretty much like all footage of the Blink tour.
Mm-hmm.
So I think going from Blink tour to like 60 people in a room for an official video after that
Sure.
would be kind of weird.
Yeah. But you guys are all at the forefront of always thinking of how to create good content. I mean, that's how I found you, was creating that content.
Yeah, and I see it's a blessing to be a band because you can divide and conquer and self-motivate. Like
Yeah.
it's really, I feel like for some solo artists, like it's very difficult because you have to always self-motivate to make it, and there's so much pressure to do it, like, which I feel bad. And at the end of the day, like that's why I started making TikToks, because I didn't want to ask my clients to do something that I wasn't doing myself.
That's good. That's a good idea.
And it's like, hey, see, I'm doing it too. Now you have to do
I know.
it. Oh,
I
it's
tried-
7 days a week. But
I know.
even though I didn't do that, or I don't, but
No, I tried exactly that like last month. I was like, I'm gonna post Cricket King's like song every day, like me just doing whatever they do, like day 4, day 5 of them trying to blow up their song, and I think I stopped after like 6.
Yeah.
But I tried to show them like I'm gonna try it, but they do it really well too. But some of our other acts don't do it as much. They don't see it, but that's a good motivating factor.
it is. I mean, I guess it really depends on the client's strategy too, like, and like what. I mean, you guys, and Wade, shout out to Wade, like he's a strategy strategy guru. I feel like he's always got a plan. You know, for you, and you guys always have a plan for like all your guys' releases, and there's always like something, you know, different and extra, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
I actually ran into your boys. I took the same plane home from London with the band.
The band?
They're so good.
Nightcap.
Orange. No, Squeeze.
Oh,
Squeeze.
the main Squeeze.
Main Squeeze.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Yes. They're all super rad. We had a great
Oh,
chat.
yeah. They're so special live.
And they did a full tour, right? They were like 2 weeks.
Yeah. They're a really good jam band that just tours greatly out there. And like the guitarist can rip for 20 minutes. The fucking solo, the vocalist Corey is amazing.
Which is wild about Europe because you'll see like Europe fans understand the assignment.
Yeah.
Like no hate on American fans and whatever, but like they like just so respectful, but like they'll start clapping on the first song without you even asking them, you know, during the hook or whatever. And there'll be giant mosh pits because they just want to do it and they get it. And as soon as if you ask them to make a mosh pit, it's like, parted, done, go for it. And then it goes nuts.
That's actually exactly what yesterday's podcast or Tuesdays with Jordan Wazzy, one of my directors, because he was MGK's tour videographer going everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But he said the exact...
Is he still?
No, not anymore.
I don't know if did you see that picture of MGK that someone, I don't know who took. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. What, today? Or this week?
No, it was maybe a few weeks ago of him touring.
Sam Cahill's is like guy now.
This photo is like, I think one of the most iconic photos I've ever seen in my life.
It was a show photo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sam took it.
Insane.
Sam's great.
I felt like I remember I reposted it and someone was like, I feel like that photographer sold his soul for this photo.
Wait, I think, did you put that caption? Or no, someone else did?
No, I think someone else did. But where is it? Oh, I want to find it so badly. It's like a picture of him with his spiked hair.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like he's from the back of him. It's like kind of like over the shoulder. It's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But what I was going to say was said the same thing you just said about the Europe like fans and like the Russian mosh pit. Like he was like, there's a Russian mosh pit I was in.
They're
but
nuts.
They're nuts.
Great.
He said the same thing. They understand the assignment of like what is being asked.
I don't know if you guys can pull that up.
Oh yeah, no, we'll pull that up. Yeah, that's a fire photo. Yeah.
It's like something. It looks like I don't know. It looks like he's in like.
Yeah, it almost looks like AI generated too.
Could be.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, but it could be. Yeah, you're right. No.
Oh shoot.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, Sam's a beast. They have good stuff. But yeah, Europe. I just got back from Europe, man. I fucking love to be in Europe. And yeah, we have a Europe tour in November. Excited to do that.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going the whole time. I'm gonna document. I'm gonna be like their tour like videographer, document guy. I mean, I'm gonna like hit up people in the cities.
In the dirt.
I'm gonna hold the camera again. I'm gonna bring it back to the roots, but it's the whole month of November.
So what's next for you then on the film side?
Next for me on the film side,
and then we're gonna pivot into the writer and actor strike because I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, well, I can answer as much as I can, but the film stuff, we just did a bunch of like films this quarter, like or Q2 I'm talking about, but
dope.
Yeah, we did like 3 short films, 1 feature film. Those are cool to do, and music videos are still there, but like we just said about Beauty School Dropout, you just gotta get scrappy with it because I believe too, from your standpoint, it's like, what's the ROI for this video that's going to get me? Like these videos I can make TikTok videos and get the song blown up, or I can make a 3-minute cinematic music video. And
well, let's talk about that then, because I feel like for me, as long as like my clients are creatively happy with the content, I truly don't care what the content is. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of like rule. I am leaning right now towards the rule of thought of like, instead of making 1 big music video, let's make like 5 little ones.
I agree. I just said this to a manager at like 12 o'clock with Jesse. We had a meeting, and the manager, just same position. I understood him, and he was like, yeah, like, I'm just trying to figure out the ROI and this, but I was like, yeah, we don't need to do like a long cinematic narrative music video. What we can do is rent like a location and get some props and know what we're going to make music videos to the sound you want to push on TikTok and do that segment recorded 10, 12 different times. different props come in, find a location that has versatile set design, and just try to like record for what your platform is going to be, if it's TikTok or YouTube Shorts, and gear it to that. And yeah, I mean, that's what we told him. He's like, oh, that's like a great idea. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you more about that. So yeah, I mean, look, I have two brains to this, right? Me as a music video producer and the film stuff, I'm doing with like Oliver, Melanie Martinez. I get their aesthetic. They need to have long videos for their audiences, and that's
Makes
where
sense.
they are.
Yeah, if you have a big audience, you might as well do it.
Yeah,
but
like,
we're talking maybe up and coming.
Sure, and Crooked Kings are an example. Like for me right now, like I don't want to break the bank on the dudes. I want to spend more money on marketing.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate they have a team in Salt Lake City that's down to get scrappy with it, and we're planning out their next one for a couple thousand. But yeah, like to the point being, we can just kind of like make videos that we know we're going to post on the right platforms in those kind of segmented, maybe the 30-second, parts that were even scripted. Maybe we have an actor in a car and doing things, but we know that's going to be the sound we're going to push.
Right.
And we know what ROI can come from those segments, rather than let's do a whole video, let's see what cuts up, and let's work. Yeah, we're trying that approach. And I think that's the right approach at the moment.
It also depends on the client too, and what the situation is. But I feel like now, like say your artist, up and coming artist signs a distribution label deal.
Sure.
It's $15,000 in marketing, and it's signed for an EP with an option, whatever. Signed to the EP, and you got that $15,000. It's like, how do I spend that $15,000 the best way?
Mm-hmm.
And how we've been thinking about it is PR, no offense to the publicists, gone. Because no one reads that stuff anyways. Although it's good to get that sometimes for like an industry look. If you get the Rolling Stones or whatever, it's like, oh wow, they're on Rolling Stones. Put it on the Instagram, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Realistically, that budget should be spent on maybe some ads if you have someone who's ridiculous and knows how to pinch a budget, and content.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Short form content.
And try to stay on UGC content, like user generated content. That's, because like the platform TikTok and stuff, like I'm not on as much as I should be. I just can't do it anymore. But like, they're scrolling through, they want to see like people's authenticity. They want to see like the person's face and like what they're talking about. And we found that was worked the best for my guys and your guys too. But yeah, like, I mean, that's where I would spend the money too, is like figuring out how to do ads or figure out what accounts to go on to, like, spending money on the right,
social media stuff.
Yeah, social media community stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And we also learned that the hard way. Like, I feel like, and it's always really depends on the song too. Like, like the artists that are blown up on TikTok who's managed by my good friend Mike, Flanabas. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Have you not seen the girls? They're like running through like McDonald's or running through a supermarket, and they're rapping.
Like I said, I'm not on TikTok like I should be.
I'll show you.
All right,
so like, there's one way to do it, right? Like they have got a song that works really well for that. Like, oh, like I want to watch that again, and then they also have a concept of them. Like the filming concept, right, where they're running. I'll show you.
That sounds like you hit a home run. Like when you pair up all those things together, stars align, and that's the right thing to run with.
And they're like, every video they post is like,
and they just kind of can repeat the shit. Let me see. Oh shit! We'll show this on the thing. No wonder they're filming that too. Someone just super stable with their hand, just like running. Might be on a helmet in the back of them.
That'd be dope.
How can someone be running backwards this fucking fast?
But it's dope because they do this running thing, and then now they're like in the comments, like dropping the comments where we should run next, and then
that's cool.
And then there's someone's in McDonald's, and they're all of a sudden running through a McDonald's.
No, that's
like,
great.
That stuff works, but like that's not going to happen every time, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if like, some of my clients would necessarily like even feel comfortable shooting content like that.
Well, I have clients that are definitely not comfortable with the things we pitch them.
So if you have $10,000 to spend on content, it's like you should just stack it with as many freaking
content ideas
and also shoots as you can. Like you just want as much stuff as possible to just be consistent, because we're having we just had a call with TikTok, one of their head people there, and they're just saying like at this day and age to stay, like if you're posting 3 times a week, like you're puttering by. You know, if you're posting, you're just getting by with three
what do they
TikToks.
suggest?
3 TikToks a week, you're getting by. 5, you're maintaining and maybe see some growth. 7 days a week, you're excelling.
So one day,
One
once
day a
a
week,
day.
that's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any more than that every day, but like as long as content is out there, you know, and if your ideas start to click like what they did, like, and it works for their brand and it works for your brand, like, then you will, you know, then it'll happen. Like,
Yeah.
you're at the end of the day, you're just hurting yourself if you're not posting that content
I agree.
at the end of the day. Like, as long as you're like, and at the end of the day, like, and this is from my perspective as like not necessarily like forefront of creative, like, of course you want that content to be something that you're proud of, but at the same time, like, the TikTok memory span is so short. Like, as long as it's not gonna like burn your career or cancel you or something, like, worst case, someone just watches it for 3 seconds and scrolls.
Yeah.
And they're going to completely forget about that piece of content that you
Right.
did. As long as you sound good and you look good, and it is what it is, like...
But they should treat it like what I'm moving more into is commercials right now and commercial campaigns. And like the ways that these brands want to see are honestly, they want to see my director's 15-second like promotional advertisement things that they can make for like Coca-Cola. Or we did something with Sharpie recently. Like, I'm showing these 15-second verticals of the Sharpie thing to the brands, and they're like, yeah, we like that. And take that same, like, that's the same thing for the music stuff. It's like, yeah, some of these people don't want to do that stuff, but like, this is the stuff that eventually will get you the work where the ad world wants to see anyways. So
But I mean, do you think content on TikTok should be overproduced or underproduced?
I think it should be, if there was a world, to be in the middle, but I'd say more leaning towards underproduced. Like, I think from what I'm seeing, my perspective is like the UGC stuff or the stuff that's like that, like, you know, right in your face is like what people are gonna be more inclined to. I think I just had one of our artists do something that was overproduced on TikTok like the last week, and I didn't like it. I thought it was too much camera shifting, like the framing. I thought it was too much for like what this TikTok audience probably wants. So I think sometimes overproduced hurts you.
What do
in
you
my
guys
opinion.
think? Underproduced?
Yeah.
It's unanimous. Overproduced.
Quality's good though.
Quality over quantity. That's always been me though.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, this is like that I love about all them, because they're in the positions more than I am. Like, they're in the forefront. So like, we always like show them songs, we're showing them videos.
Nice.
Like,
Well,
what
it's
do you
good to
think?
have, you know? Like, my
Yeah.
partner, Nick Lippman, he's got a 10 and 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So
You're like, what are
he's
you
always
listening
running
to?
stuff, looking at them, like always watching what they're doing. You know, it's like, honestly, I don't.
They love YouTube.
I guess
my
I'm
12-year-old
getting-
nephew loves YouTube.
Well,
It's
YouTube's
weird.
always great,
Yeah.
and we kind of forget about that. But I guess, you know, I'm turning 30 next weekend, and I
Nice.
feel like I'm becoming a geezer because I don't really consume content on TikTok.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm 33.
I use Instagram.
Yeah, I can't. That's what I was saying. Like, I'm now dating myself on this, but I'm like 33. I can't be on this app anymore longer than like 5 minutes. I find it like obnoxious in my face.
Yeah.
And like, again, like, that's just me. But
I'm just trying
Yeah.
to stay off. I'm on my phone way too much, and like I have recently now, like if I go out to dinner with friends or something, like I'm like,
you're the guy that's like,
I
put
might-
the phone in the middle
I'll
of
do
the
that
table.
for sure, but I might also just leave my phone at the house.
Really? You'll
and
do
I'm,
that?
And I'm like, is this a good idea? This seems really dumb.
That's
and then
going
it ends
pretty
up,
far.
to be honest, I've had some of the best dinners in evenings without a cell phone in my hand or my pocket.
Are you just on your golf cart
in the
carting
golf
down to
cart ripping.
Venice?
Yeah, but the thing is, I'll check, like, all of a sudden I'll feel like there's a stale moment at the dinner, or like people are talking and I'm like not really that
You go
engaged.
for your phone.
I'll go for my phone. I'm like, oh, I don't have it. And so then I re-engage, and then I actually end up having like a way better time and more of like a great interaction because it's at home. Like, it's not there. Even if it's on the table, it's still like, my precious,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
fucked up.
That's good. That takes a lot of
hate
like disassociation to leave the phone and feeling like, yeah, you can do that.
Right. Well, and it's also just, there's so much like the teams that I work with and I operate around, like with Beauty School Dropout, with Anthony Ortiz, and with this new client. It's like everybody is Mamba mentality, and if you don't answer an email within 12 hours, they're gonna be like, "Why didn't you answer that email?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oof." Give me a break.
Yeah, let me live my life. Is this life or death? I always ask, like, is someone dying? Like, is someone dying here? Like,
Yeah.
do I need?
No,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's like you look at it and you try to find that work-life balance, and that's why I'm really thankful. I live in Venice, on the kind of pretty damn near on the beach. Like I'm out there, you know, at least once a day, trying to like relax and stuff. But at the same time, it's like if we want to succeed in this business, you have to just be that person that is always there, always consistent, and willing to put the head down and do whatever it takes. And like honestly, recently for me, I've had like a kind of a big transformation where like we had just like a bunch of stuff going on, and like I made a mistake and got in some hot water because of it, and it really made me like completely realize like, you know, I had to really reevaluate things. And I understood that I'm in it, one, for the right reason, but two, like you can't, like it's business at the end of the day. Like you can't take anything personal. Yeah. And like I've truly taken the ego out of it completely. And like, you know, there's no job that's not necessary that I won't do. And on top of that, like as long as everybody's doing their roles and filling their positions and everybody's like, you know, accountable, there's no need for ego.
No. Yeah.
And I've honestly been just happier and just way better off. And now I just lead with all my partners and everybody. It's just compassion.
Yeah, full of trust. Just trust them. And
I mean, at the end of the day, like if you know, people definitely show their ass sometimes, and like there's things they do and you're like, wow, that's just not, you know, like I've learned early, and this is not at all any of the partners I have now, but like just for example, like you look at how they treat their significant others when they're not around, you know, and like this was like way back. I learned this pretty much when I got out of college with some of my promoter partners, and you look at how they treat their significant others, whether they're not, you know, whether they're doing stuff that they don't know about or like, you know, with other people. And you're like, wow, if you did that to the person that you're supposed to be closest with, what are you going to do to me? You know?
Yeah.
And so like, as long as you pay attention to details like that and you make sure, and you just lead yourself the first foot forward as compassion and honest and transparent and like moving through and like just working hard, you're going to get so much farther in this business. And that's at least what a lot of like the older people have told me in this game too. And I'm just, you know, I don't know. It's been 4 years in LA has been like a battle for sure to get where we are now. And it still, interestingly enough, like, you know, if I could tell myself 4 years, even when I was here the first time 2 years ago, like where we would be now, you know, and like all that stuff, and you have all these things and like your clients are doing this and like you're actually really doing it, like I would be pretty freaking surprised and be like, wow, he's made it. But now I think about it right now and I'm like, fuck, I have so much shit I want to do still.
Same.
You know what I mean? I still don't feel that accomplished. So I think I'm still battling between that too, of like, at what point, I think I'm getting close. I think we'll need like another year or two where I'll really be like, okay, this is like a very, very serious thing, even though it's very serious now, because you know, you do have other people's lives kind of, you know, their career in your hand, but
you should feel good though. I mean, dude, like you're playing arenas, you're signing new acts, like you're working with legendary people in the space. Like I feel the same way with you, where it's like, I feel like I haven't done enough. But then, you kind of do take a moment. We don't take a moment to look back at like how far we've come and enough. And we really should give kudos to ourselves. I was, talking to someone yesterday about it, because I was thinking about another job that I was offered, and nothing crazy, but still do production. But I was like, should I take this? It's a dream job. He's like, dude, you are doing your dream job. Like you're doing everything you wanted to do. And I'm like, damn, you kind of are right a little bit. But sometimes you don't recognize it because you're working so hard and things are coming about. But I think we're in very fortunate positions to better ourselves, better the people around us. I mean, and we're just like your acts and your other people you work with, and
it's good. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm still just trying to figure out how you be, like, what's the best way to be as grateful as possible. And I think, like I said, for me, what I'm learning now is to not have the ego and be compassionate and just like, take every day as it comes.
Yeah. What is it that nobody gets about the things you do or the time you put in or even how to get to this point?
It's tough. I mean, I think what I just touched on is I think one of like the more recent realizations of like being taking the ego out of things to make sure that at the end of the day, no matter what, like, you're not the rock star. Like, every once in a while, I think we all could get sucked up into that stuff and like the flashiness and going to the cool stuff and like doing all that, you know, and being on tour, etc. And like, it's all really exciting, but at the end of the day, like, no matter what, you know, chose a business to be, you know, the background, which is very obvious. Everyone is, oh, yeah, the team is always in the background, blah, blah, blah. But like, I see a lot of people make that mistake where they want to be in the limelight and like,
I think they're bigger than the project or bigger than the mission at hand.
Yeah.
And it's like, now we got to remember why we're here first and foremost.
Yeah. We
It's
all
even
work.
like,
Yeah.
I like watch Defiant Ones. You ever seen that on
Mhm.
HBO? Yeah, I love that. I probably watch that all the time. But like Jimmy Iovine had a part where it was like Bruce, he was working with Bruce Springsteen and John Lando and was the producer or the manager. He's his manager. And Jimmy Iovine like hated it, hated the process. He's like going to leave. And Lando's like, Jimmy, remember, like, we're here for Bruce. We're not here for you. And if you go back in there and like just suck it up and work with him, you'll have like a friend for life, and you'll have something like so meaningful. And obviously he did, and obviously Jimmy Iovine is Jimmy Iovine, but he had that point where he's like, I can't do this. This isn't what I wanted. And the dude sat, the manager, like yourself, you know, how you be like, it's not like, this isn't about you. It's about the project. You go back in there. Trust me. So I think that's important. Yeah.
I think that's one of the most recent things I've been like watching and seeing, and like also adapting myself too, you know, because you definitely get sucked into some of this stuff. And like, you know, I think just being, and also being honest.
Yeah.
I think being honest,
transparent,
which is, you know, if you're surrounded by a bunch of yes men, like, or yes ladies, it's not good for the artist at the end of the day. Like, they'll start to believe the stuff, and if you really don't agree with something, tell them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and tell them in a nice way. Like, don't be an asshole about it. Like, there's the sandwich technique where you hit them with the bread first. It's like, wow, the vocals on that song, out of control. The melody's crazy. I feel like that hook is like not your best work ever.
Yeah.
You can beat it, and then you're like,
yeah.
But if you do all that, dude, this is gonna be one of the best.
Start with some
written.
positive reinforcement, leave it into the constructive criticism.
Yeah, it's all about
it's your opinion. They hired you and they value your role as that. And look, you might not have all the right answers, but you at least need to give your opinion because that's what they value of you.
Yeah, and just being, and I think the key also is just, again, I think on the compassion front, it's like, you know, even down to like what we first started talking about, like the touring, or if it's like an assistant at a label or whatever, like, one, obviously you don't know where they're going to be in the future, but that also shouldn't be your motivation. But at the same time, like, if you're nice to people, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're just going to have a bunch of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you don't let yourself get taken advantage of, and you stand up for yourself. But those are two really, really important things for people to, you know, move through and just trust your process and be authentic to yourself. And I feel like the music business or the entertainment industry in general was a very cutthroat and hard business to be in. And you know, at some points, and recently I've definitely had to play, like, you know, just like had to like see like the Game of Thrones aspect of the business, and that, like, definitely not my favorite part.
Yeah.
And then I guess my favorite part about working with musicians and working in the business I'm in is actually getting demos. I love getting demos. It's like my favorite thing.
Me too, yeah.
Ever. Problem is, it's only about 1.5% or 2% of the entire workload.
Yeah.
But, you know, as long as we always remember that it's a business at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah. It's
a fun business. It can be fun, but the fun can only start once the work is done.
Yeah. No, definitely. What's next? What you got coming up?
You know, I'm going to Hawaii for my birthday next weekend.
Hell yeah. Which island?
Kauai.
Dude, yeah, I've been there before. You've ever been there before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like country island. Like, chickens are everywhere.
I'm
Just
excited.
little chickens everywhere.
Back to, you know, I think what you're getting at for more music stuff is, I finally found a country artist. Like I said, that one mystery artist.
You love country. Is that your favorite genre?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's a new thing for me to be like, I grew up on a ranch in Arizona, and like we literally took a short bus to school with the Valley kids and like the country kids, and we would take the short bus to school. It took like an hour to get to school, and it would be a constant battle of like, would we play the rap station or the country station? I remember I just hated the country music, hated it. And then maybe like when I graduated high school, I started to listen to more and more country, like through Ex-Girlfriend or Zach Brown Band was really the introduction. Then now like country is like my absolute favorite thing. And I've been really manifesting and trying to work in the country space and at least start that. And I have found the person that I'm helping now. I'm not necessarily managing them quite yet, but I think that would be my end goal because their music is just so incredible. And they have what it takes. And like, I think for me, managing country music is like so stoked.
That's cool.
So that, and then obviously everything that Beauty School Dropout has going on. We got Lollapalooza, Aftershock, Louder Than Life, a couple college shows, a headline tour, probably a big party show in LA. We're dropping another song on August 2nd called Beautiful Waste, which is an amazing song, incredible. I think the most pop leaning song we have yet. And
I've heard that a few times on social.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they're having an album drop, and then Anthony Ortiz is at an amazing label that is just has so many resources and is just, kind of giving us the opportunity to use them. And so it's been good. Everything seems to be working well, and at the end of the day, I think I'm also building some private equity stuff on the side, and I'm
let me know.
Working on building a fund right now.
Let me know.
For artists to invest in, as well as, kind of my friends and stuff. So
that's awesome.
That would be my big goal, I think, is building this fund out. That's how we're going to buy a house.
I'm into it. Let me know when you get more deck stuff or you get more.
Have it. Oh, yeah, no, it's already in.
All right. Send me that deck. Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for doing this with me. I know, yeah, man. I mean, actually, you weren't that hard to come on. I'm happy that you were super easy. Just like, dude, of
perfect.
Course.
I'm glad. Yeah, no, it was work. Today was actually a perfect day, especially since it's close to the house.
Yeah, no, I feel like we did a great combo here talking, man. And fuck yeah, dude, I'm happy you're one of the first for me.
I appreciate. I'm flattered still.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm so happy you are, man. And
I get heart palpitations when I think of you naked. She said, maybe in another life. What a beautiful waste.
At a Pandora event, I think it was a winter New York show.
Yep.
And we're all wearing funky, weird stuff.
Yeah, you guys were fucking nuts.
We were, dude.
And I loved every minute of it.